Here are the tournament brackets from the NCAA and its corporate champion, Capital One, where Auburn is the #1 overall seed, and they head up the South region, destination Atlanta and beyond. 16 quad one wins. They are a 1 seed for the second time ever, behind SEC Player of the Year, Janai Broome. They will be scouting the first 4 matchup between Alabama State, the Southwest Atlantic champions, and St. Francis in the tournament for the first time since 1991 with a record of 16-17. We move to Thursday action in Lexington, where we find Louisville is the 8th seed and going to Lexington. Picked to finish 9th in the ACC, but now with head coach Pat Kelsey, they won 19 more games than a year ago, back in the dance for the first time since 2019. Their opponent will be the Creighton Blue Jays, behind Ryan Kalkbrenner, over 19 points a game, and named Big East Defensive Player of the Year for a record 4th straight season. Next up, action in Denver on Thursday, where the 5 seed is Michigan, and they're still celebrating their Big Ten crown and a 17-win improvement in their first year under Dusty May.
They've got a lot to celebrate, but they got to be wondering, didn't we just win the Big Ten title? How come we're a 5 seed? I'm a little surprised to see them that low. Not a great move there for the Big Ten, maybe.
And they will face, in Denver, UC San Diego. The Tritons, making their first appearance in their first season of tournament eligibility and bring the nation's longest winning streak, 15 in a row.
And one of the best offenses and defenses in the country when you talk about forcing turnovers and scoring the basketball.
We move on to the 4 versus 13 game, and it's Texas A&M. They got their first ever win over a #1 in school history when they defeated Auburn earlier this year. They're in the same region. They lead the nation in offensive rebounding, and they will face the Ivy League champs, Yale Bulldogs, back-to-back for the first time in school history.
That is a tough matchup. Texas A&M had a great year to get Yale in this tournament. Yale is as physical as anybody in this tournament. So is Texas A&M.
All right, we go to the bottom half of the South region now with games in Milwaukee on Friday. And it's Ole Miss in for the first time since 2019, led by a roster of 10 seniors. And they will be scouting the first 4 in and look at this, San Diego State. They are going to face North Carolina.
Well, if anyone wants to know what everyone's going to be talking about after the show, North Carolina is your answer with that 1-12 quad 1 record. They got in because of their non-conference strength of schedule, which was the 5th strongest in the country, but that's going to be a big-time topic of conversation.
No question about it.
All right, to the 3 seed, playing on Friday, and it is Iowa State, a 17-2 start, hoping to get a couple stars back from injury in Tamin Lipsey and Keyshawn Gilbert. They will face the Lipscomb Bisons, the guys from Nashville making their 2nd ever appearance. Now to the 7-10 matchup in Cleveland. We have Marquette. Shaka Smart's team is the 7 seed, and they will face the New Mexico Lobos, led by Mountain West Player of the Year, Donovan Dent, helping Richard Pitino earn Conference Coach of the Year.
Donovan Dent, Cam Jones in that one, guys.
And the 2 seed is Michigan State. Tom Izzo makes it 27 straight NCAA tournament appearances, extending his own record, 7-1 against ranked power conference opponents this year.
Remarkable season for Michigan State. Not really on anybody's radar screen to start the season, work themselves into a 2 seed by how well they perform.
And they will face, to get things going, Bryant Bulldogs from the America East, led by Phil Martelli Jr. So let's zoom out now on the South and transition back up to the top of this bracket. Seth, what stands out here?
Well, I'm going to start with my own sets right away. Everybody get used to saying Anawaniwa, because UC San Diego is going to defeat not only Michigan in the first round. I like Yale to pull off another first-round upset over Texas A&M, which means the Tritons, their first season in Division I, they want to keep playing. They are going to the Sweet 16.
Boy, I tell you, looking at Louisville as an 8 seed, that had to be surprising to that team and Pat Kelsey. Phenomenal year, played in the ACC tournament championship game and end up being in that 8 seed. We're going to go down to the bottom of the bracket now, and obviously the North Carolina situation. It'll be interesting to hear how they ended up being in the bracket based on what the numbers look like. But again, new metrics, and we'll have the have the chair be able to explain that to us later on.
If you go down to the bottom there, second from the bottom, that Marquette, New Mexico, I mentioned it earlier. Two of the best point guards in the country going at it. That is going to be a great matchup. And Michigan State, thinking about where they were early in the season, if you look at them at the bottom as a 2 seed, poor Phil Martelli Jr. is getting a hot team that I think is a little upset that they didn't make it to the finals of the Big Ten. So that Michigan State's going to be ready to go.
All right, one region in the books, and the guys will have big predictions later in the show.